Hello guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to another live stream. How is everyone doing? Welcome back. If you are new, today, usually on Tuesdays, I do a live stream, educational content. So if you have any topic that you'd like me to cover or any pair that you'd like me to take a look at, feel free to ask me. And we'll go through it. Feel free to comment below, to talk with me during the live stream. So hopefully this is interactive. So the main point is just to talk about the charts, price action, important levels that maybe you can look at. And if not, I would just continue maybe to update a little bit, because then on Saturday I usually do another live stream, which is the weekly analysis, where I go through indices, Forex, Bitcoin and Ethereum, where I can kind of give you my prediction of maybe a few zones that maybe I'll be paying attention to, and where it usually, mostly I try to find out where there is price in the market or price to go. So big week last week, and then Monday, yesterday, we just completely carry on in the same direction as last week. We moved all the way through to the highs on the dollar index, on the pound and the euro dollar. We could see that price even broke the lows from 14th of July, right? Euro dollar, once again, it moved below the parity. Now again it's a little bit above the parity, so I believe it's going to be dancing in between the parity for a while. With franc on the euro and even on dollar index, as I talked about last Saturday. In the higher time frame, I still expect the dollar index to go maybe a little bit higher. We now literally respected almost to the pip this high in here, creating this double top. But in the higher time frame, as I mentioned a few times before, I actually would like to see dollar index going a little bit above this high in here, just kind of retesting this somewhere this level in here, which is around 110. Usually somewhere in there. That's where I would be looking for on the dollar index before maybe any major reversal. Literally with this move today, price was a little bit flat a little bit, like was not moving until kind of we had this PMI data coming out in the US, negative PMI data, weaker dollar, and you could see a little bit of a rally to the upside. Literally price just retested the opening of the week, and now it's kind of in between. So there you go. You just feel this price until the opening from yesterday, and price now is and price reacted a little bit from that. Looking at the dollar index, we did had a little bit of a break below, break of this low that maybe could have given some clue that price wanted to fill out this space, maybe until this demand zone, or maybe a little bit further below, with this low in here that broke it. So after the break of this one, maybe there was a chance to look for or expect maybe the dollar to eventually fill out this, and then now this compression in here as well, and even broke this low as well in here. On approach, it's nice as well to see lows being broken just maybe before the final turn. So that's kind of what dollar index did. Quite nice. Then in here, that's that. Expect eventually dollar index to go and break these highs. It's interesting to see that yeah, dollar index didn't broke the highs. Euro dollar and pound dollar, they did broke the lows. So yeah, and even if you consider the major dollar pairs, yeah, the one that has been kind of showing a little bit more strength towards the dollar, it has been the Aussie one, comparing with euro and the pound, for example. Because while the euro and pound had already literally broke through the lows, dollar index is almost in there, like we're testing this double top. Aussie just literally moved like kind of just 50% of the level, like didn't even move nowhere near close the lows. So yeah, you can see a little bit of strength in there, which means that if by any chance we see a little bit more weakness, like just today, maybe you can expect a stronger move on the Aussie to the upside. Yeah. On the other hand, for example, if by any chance you're trying to short or to go long on dollar, which in this case could have been short on euro and the pound, for example. If you had chosen to be short on the Aussie, you would be kind of maybe a little bit upset comparing with the move that the pound and the euro had made, comparing with the Aussie. Aside from this, nothing much. Price filled the space all the way there, retested it. Now we have a double top. So you can imagine maybe the liquidity that's going to be starting to be created above these levels in here, right? I think you can start to imagine that liquidity is around here. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, price just fill this place. Price can easily just continue to go higher now. Yeah, that was it for the dollar. The indices. Yep. So the S&P and Nasdaq, they literally just continue to move to the downside. Don't have any analysis in here. Oh, it's this one, sorry. Yep. They literally continue to move to the downside. Yep. This was one of the last months, or one of the actually first months in here. That was still fresh. First month, I mean, considering that. Second. First month that can work as a barrier, that was still fresh. And maybe this can be maybe another one or something like that. This can be kind of another one, and so on and so forth. Because aside from this, if you just check the move to the upside, all these demands in here, they basically have been picked up on the way up. Yeah, this one kind of was one of the ones that was still fresh in there. All the rest has been kind of compressed on the way all the way through to the upside, and this is actually quite nicely what you want to see when price is going higher, until it gets kind of to a level that maybe you're going to be interested in, and that's kind of where you're going to what you want to start looking at. How price is approaching the level, how many levels are still fresh, and as price broke any lows on the way up. So that's something that you definitely want to be paying attention to. As price broken lows on the way up, that kind of can work really nicely as your future target, the zone just underneath it. All of a sudden, instead of maybe you start thinking that kind of maybe the retest of this low could be just your target, maybe you have a much bigger space that maybe price wants to fill, which is kind of what you're going to try to look for. This could be one of the targets, right? This demand zone, or maybe now the other extreme in here. Below this one, I kind of see below this, kind of this is compressed as well. This one has been taken in here. Yeah, taken in there, all the way until there. So all this kind of is all compressed below this wall. Yep, it's kind of where we get nice reaction from there. Price reacted quite nicely, but it just reacted straight away into the next supply level. So nothing much so far. There is no break to the upside yet, even though we kind of broke these highs. This is really not a break to the upside. Yeah, We just reacted from the supply that was left behind because these highs didn't really touch it. So, yep. Yeah, interesting. So, what's next for the S&P? Let's see. This actually is kind of a nice, an important month. It was kind of where price finally decided to break out these highs on the left side. And if you do break this demand zone, I think we're going to have much more space to then continue to the downside. Yep, if we do break them, I can see price going or opening at least space to show indication that it wants to go further down. And further down, for example, in here, you can see the circle in here. This already broke off the lows. Eventually, actually, I'm going to be looking as a target even below this level, which is going to be somewhere in here, or already even retesting already all the way back to the lows. If price does break this demand zone, this zone here underneath, it doesn't mean that price is going to just fill this price immediately. Price can actually even have a deeper rise to the upside, and then go down. For example, in this case, it may look like that this supply level has been already taken on the way down by this spike. So something also may want to pay attention to is when you are creating the highs, right? When you are creating this the higher high, is to try to see if there is any kind of orders left behind in there. In this case, it looks like kind of this supply level has already been taken by this week, this spike in here that occurred. So maybe there isn't. However, on the Nasdaq, on the S&P, actually, if I take a look at kind of the next supply zone above this triple top that we just faked out, there is a little bit of space up until that level. So if by any chance, if price, let's just pretend that price breaks this low, it shows indication that it wants to go lower. But if by any chance, if price actually does this, it kind of has a deep retracement. I wouldn't be surprised if we do actually still fake out this high, and then we just go there to react from that supply level, and then maybe we go and continue to move to the downside. And now maybe we can target below this low and maybe even create new levels from there. So yeah, it's something that I wouldn't be surprised if this happens. If we do break this low, give indication that price may wants to go down, and just because this one has already been taken, there's maybe something in here still for price to react from. But just because this supply actually is still fresh in there, I wouldn't be surprised if price still actually fake out this high. Doesn't need to happen. This level can be actually just be left there for the future, whenever that future is. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Of course, it depends on the approach. If by any chance, if you do actually have this deeper trace, which may never happen, of course, it depends a little bit on the approach as well. If you start breaking some lows on the way up, maybe there's a good indication that maybe price can maybe just literally kind of react even from this level, for example, and continue to move to the downside. On the other hand, comparing with Nasdaq, where Nasdaq actually had already reacted from this supply that we created in here, as you'll see, and I do believe while on the S&P it looks like that this supply zone has been taken on the way down. I'm not sure if that supply has been taken on the Nasdaq, which creates kind of a really interesting different scenario. Just like this, 1 second. Feel free to ask any questions, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Even if you are watching, just to reply afterwards. If you agree or if you don't disagree with me, yeah, feel free to ask me anything. Even if you, for example, are you still bullish or bearish on the indices? You think you're going to go and create now new lows from here, or you are bullish and you're just thinking that price may just continue to go higher and eventually even create all-time highs, even maybe this year. Yeah, let me know in the comments what is your view. So if you do take a look at Nasdaq, so Nasdaq did react from this from the supply level above this triple top. Again, triple top was there. Nice level of support resistance as well. If you take a look at this low is actually the first low after the break of this previous low that created this last higher high. So it kind of maybe a good level to react from. If we do take in consideration as well, Nasdaq already broke these lows, kind of where S&P is still kind of reacting from. And one thing that I wanted to mention is exactly that. I'm not sure if this spike, the spike that occurred here before the drop, if we actually went there to take the kind of the supply level. I may see some orders maybe still somewhere in here above this spike. And this can create actually quite an interesting scenario. For example, maybe we are going to have a deeper trace. If we do have a deeper trace, maybe Nasdaq is going to stay within this high. He's not going to have the need to create a new higher high because maybe this spike in here never really got the orders from there, while S&P may still create a new higher high, react from that supply level that was still fresh on the left side, since kind of the supply that was created in here was kind of taken already from the spike, and then maybe go down. So Nasdaq, we may not need to see a new higher high being created before maybe price actually continues and completely goes down, while on the S&P we may have that extra high, taking out the high that we just created last week. Something similar happened at the higher highs on the S&P and Nasdaq. For example, if you take a look at how price Nasdaq reacted and moved in here, right, you can see that the higher high on Nasdaq is on the 22nd of November, I believe so. 22nd, yeah, 22nd of November last year. And then we do have all these highs in here created. However, the supply is still fresh in there. Right, so there you go. You have all this liquidity being created with all these highs, supply is still fresh. Price literally just broke this this low in here. All this looks compressed to me. Maybe even a little bit further below. So yeah, after we do break into this level, kind of there's all this space still to fill. So kind of no surprise that it was a good sign that price most likely wanted to reverse, and it did create all these highs with the supply still fresh. On the S&P, it's the opposite, in the sense that the supply that is created in here at the origin at the higher high on Nasdaq, it's actually Jesus. Yeah, on the S&P we do create a new higher high by the end of the year when price created this. On S&P we did create a new higher high. Reason being because basically these highs when they were created, they actually reacted from the supply, so there's kind of no new orders or fresh orders in there, and eventually price had the need to create a new higher high and then move down. So yeah, it helps to see or to try to understand if there is still fresh orders at the origin of that move, yes or no. To expect maybe a new a fake out or not into the level, and then if there is liquidity just being created underneath it, could be also a good help to see. So just to make sure that you guys see what I mean. Yeah, is this moving here? So this one is the 22nd of November, this high, and then as you can see, price still created a new higher high in there, and the supply level once more has been taken, while on the Nasdaq it kind of just stayed in here. On the S&P it went there, then okay, we do have then the fake out beginning of the year, end of the year, beginning of the year, end of last year. I mean, yeah, the fake out happened. So let's see if by any chance something similar is going to happen in here. if you do have that deep retracement or not. Yeah, just a curiosity of on the indices in that aspect that I noticed. Yeah. So let's take a look just a little bit at the Forex, at the main pairs on the Forex. Right, so yeah, sure. Euro dollar. There you go, another move below the parity, and we went a little bit above. So it's kind of the first time that we are starting to see the parity working as resistance. So it has been working as a support 1 month ago, right? We had all this rejection from the parity, we had that spike, and now we are finally kind of seeing now price actually rejecting a little bit and actually going below the parity. Yeah, I think I mentioned that when this happened, the move happened, it will be kind of just opening the door, like going into unknown territory, going below the parity. And after you kind of do that step, next time that you come back to it, you are not kind of afraid anymore. So it was kind of, price was afraid to go below there. It went really fast and it moved away. And yeah, let's just pretend like you are about to jump into the swimming pool and you are afraid of it. Maybe jump once and then you move away, but next time when you do it, you are not afraid anymore. So yeah, we did create that those niveaus. On the bigger picture, price is kind of still reacting from around the same level, from the same zone. 1 second. Yeah, it's still within this kind of spike. I don't have any data to go and investigate whatever is going on in there. So this is everything I can see. It's on the daily time frame. I can see a little bit of a zone maybe underneath it as well, if price by any chance wants to go there. But in the end, as I mentioned, I would like to see price going below the 0.96. That's kind of where I'll be looking for euro to go before even made any major reversal. And there are a few zones in here, even just retest of this of the top of this week on the daily, since these guys never went there. And then there's maybe even below this one at 0.89. I really like actually this level. I'm not sure the price will go there. However, let's see. But yeah, this 0.95344, something like that, could be a good zone for price to go to, just below these lows. At least if this, let's pretend that this was often a 30 minutes chart, I'll definitely be waiting for price to break through all this level. All this looks compressed to me, and then eventually to get a little bit farther below to these kind of clean orders that are still here before any major reversal. Hi Matom, you're never late, man. Welcome. Yes, I have someone to talk with. How are you, my friend? How are you? How's been your week so far? So yeah, we did broke below these lows. We do have a few zones in here, kind of may work as a support resistance zone. I was actually looking for price to break this high in here today with this move up. To go somewhere in here, right? To go somewhere in here. In here. I don't drawing. Okay, you're drawing now. Yep, to go somewhere in there, but price actually stayed a little bit, just respected these highs in here. It may go there later on in the future. Let's see. But yeah, I was looking actually for euro to go somewhere in there. We have a small touch in there and then maybe reverse. Yep, not their intention so far. So yeah, let's see what's next. Yep, nice supply left in here. Price touch it, move down. Yeah, I'm good as well. Are you looking for sales on the pound? Yeah, I haven't focused that much on the on trading this week. I'm already kind of getting a few things prepared for the holidays. I did miss an entry on the yen, the short in here. It touched my pullback entry, but it didn't kind of activated it, and that's because of that I didn't got short. Yep, it's kind of my fault. I kind of should have placed the order differently in order to make sure that the pullback would be activated in there. But it was with this on this spike, it touched my pullback zone, but it didn't end up activating. And after that, after that is what you can see. The news started, and that's it. It was a nice zone in here. That was my main reason. Nice KM. Yep. I didn't see it immediately, but after the break of this wall, there's space in here, and after the break of this one, it's a clear confirmation, and that's kind of where I kind of try to catch a trade. Yep, as you can see, so broke these walls. This one is a clear confirmation. Again, if you are still not short with the retest of the supply, this could be literally a last confirmation. Maybe even as a trend line in here, there could be maybe another way for me to try to enter. And aside from that, not just this broke of walls, we actually broke the walls on approach, which is something that I mentioned that I love to see. So we did broke these walls on approach, and we also broke these walls. So this is kind of the best possible setup that I can see in terms of confirmation, confirmation. And we also broke a second wall in here, which actually gives me the for me it was not even the spread filter, it was actually the spread filter. It made me miss a few trades during the FOMC by the end of last month. But this time it was not even the spread filter, it was just where I have my my pullback rectangle. It touched it, but it didn't really went through it, so it didn't really activate it. It's my fault. But this one actually, it's one of the kind of textbook setups in terms of confirmations with confirmation. So we literally have all this compression. That price could kind of target these walls, or even underneath a little bit, kind of where actually price paused for a second, or you could even kind of even look farther below if you wanted, since we actually had already broken these walls as well. So you could actually kind of go all the way through, maybe even fill all this space, and actually kind of where price eventually reacted from, which is kind of this demand, is kind of all this zone. It's kind of the next that is fresh, because I think, as you can see, we do have this demand in here. It has been taken. This one could be okay. This one was still fresh, maybe, because this one that didn't really go there. So this could be one of the targets. This one already broke it. Yeah, so this one is already an engulf down, a second engulf down, which is a perfect scenario that I love to see. We do have all these highs now to be faked out, and we do have a quasi-model pattern as well in here. So yeah, so this yen and price is actually reacting from a good level on the left side as well. Yep, engulf. Even if it was just one engulf, I would be happy with it. Second engulf, it gives me even my favorite entry, because I love to see this pattern. As I mentioned, we have a low, but then we have a next low, and then then price goes up again, and we go. I really do like to see a second break of a low after we have the engulf. And in this case, it happened. This supply level, it was respected, so now it's ignored for the future. We have kind of a double top. As price is approaching the level in here with this high, it didn't really touch it touched the base of this, but it didn't really touch this level. And even before that, we already have a new low, a new break of a low. After that, the rest is just kind of beautifully. It was actually kind of a beautiful setup in there. Now that I'm looking actually with all these details, I'm even more pissed that I missed the trade. But yeah, this is a clear textbook setup on the Dollar-Yen. Yep, my fault that I didn't took it. Because I need to start placing my pullback entries where the pullback happens to actually be on the zone that I want. And not expect price to go a little bit above the zone that I want. Yeah, the precision. Yeah, after that, it is what it is. Price already moved all the way down. I think it went again similar to Dollar-Yen. It went to the opening, to the daily opening, I think. Yeah, just feel this candle, this daily candle in here. That's where it went to. Yeah. So the zone on the left side, it was reacting kind of from here. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually the yen actually goes a little bit above it. This may be just something to take some orders. You can see that this zone in here was fresh. Maybe just taking some orders and price can kind of now fake out this highs, because I do believe that yen wants to go a little bit higher, at least until somewhere closer to there. That's my view on the Dollar-Yen. Nice trade idea. Yeah, there are so many every day, so yeah, at least like to work on the repetition, it's good to keep seeing them, to keep paying attention to them. If you are still on a stage where you are still trying to, you like a pattern, but at this point you are still working on it, in the sense that you are still getting used to visualize it and to trade it. It's good to even do the exercise of, by the end of the trading day, go back, even on today's session or even whatever, just go back and try to find clean examples of the pattern that you want to. Because your first stage, maybe it will be to start just recognizing the pattern that you are looking to trade from, try to get familiar with the PA around it, the similarities of the good ones, what it works or not, why it doesn't work, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's one of the first stages of identifying some kind of patterns that eventually you want to trade from. Then you're going to get frustrated because you're going to start noticing the pattern, but after the fact, after it happens. So you think that you already know it, but you're going to just start noticing after it happens. So there's going to be a level of frustration in that aspect. Yep. Third phase is going to be, you are starting to finally noticing as it's happening in the moment. So yeah, at this point you finally can start trading it. Maybe imagine that you actually want to trade this Quasimodo level, right? Now you're going to finally start noticing that price is actually approaching the Quasimodo, and maybe you can start taking the trades from it. And the last phase of kind of those pattern recognition is actually the moment that you are going to be so good at identifying those patterns that you're going to be able to reverse engineer the pattern, so you actually start anticipating all of the process even before even the first leg is, or even the left shoulder is being created. That's kind of the last phase, and in this case then you are kind of 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of the market, because you start noticing all of it. The approach, where maybe price wants to react from on the left side, you can start noticing maybe there's you should kind of still expect maybe the fake out of this left shoulder. And then after that, you can see that maybe you have this compression, which high or which low would you like to see broken for that to happen? Yeah, something like this. And now you notice as well that, yep, I do want to see kind of fresh supply leaving left behind. And then there you go. Start anticipating it even before even the first step is being done. And then if by any chance that doesn't happen, okay, you move on. Yeah, because you don't need to be so lost in your bias. You are always adjusting to whatever new information price is giving. You talk as if you're in my mind. Yeah, man. I've been there. That's just the only reason why. I've been in all that process, unfortunately. It's the journey. It's the journey. It would be amazing if you just kind of learn one thing and then it just with a quick of an eye and a blink of an eye, we kind of just get used to it. It doesn't work like that. And you need to go through that frustration, those initial phases. Yeah, I don't even consider that I trade smart money concepts or whatever, because that's not the way I look at it. But so many people are looking at it, and some of the struggles that they start doing is that they think that they used to maybe trade some if-then scenario strategies that almost no discretion. There was no discretionary in their trading, and they go to this kind of approach, which is a lot of discretionary. You need to actually kind of understand the bigger picture to actually be in the right spots. And yeah, and I think this is just kind of that's it. You learn when not to process, and then you understand everything. Like, it doesn't work like that. Because yeah, well, what is a break of a high or a low? Maybe you think that just because price broke this high, you think the price now is going to go higher. All of a sudden there's a break of a low, and then all of a sudden you're super confused. And there are goofs and fake outs everywhere, and so on and so forth. Especially if then you are just focused on 1 minute or kind of even 10 seconds charts. It's a journey that's going to get used to it. You see the potential of the trades, but then you're not going to catch it. Are going to miss it, or yeah, the potential is there. So at least you know that you can get it. You can get it, but it's going to take time. Yeah. This is Jan. Yep. And you said that. Yeah, through that, I'm very patient on that front. Very enjoyable when you know what you're doing. Yeah. And it's a journey. Literally, it's a journey. Because the feeling of frustration, of being able to accept, even if you miss trades, and so on, it's our journey. Instead of now rushing towards market, this house you and I was wait to it. Yeah, while on the euro price went all the way back to the supply, as you kind of see it. Aussie never really got here. I was looking for a sell somewhere in here. Yep, after noticing that price had reacted quite nicely from this level, this small decision point in there, that was still fresh with these guys. I was looking for a sell in there, but price never really got here. Maybe tonight during the Asian session or something like that. Maybe that's a zone for price to react from, because they're literally kind of left orders behind in there. Yep. What I mean is, for example, euro actually retraced and it came here. But I was not looking at euro. I was looking at the Aussie. On the euro, as I mentioned, I was kind of still looking a little bit above it. On the Aussie, price actually reacted from a level that I liked on the left. Yep, quite nice. Quite a good zone. On the Aussie, as I mentioned last Saturday, I was looking for price to break this low in here on the higher time frame, and just as I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, like euro and pound had already broken these lows from the 14th of July. Aussie is literally halfway there. Like if you want to take a look at maybe one of the dollar pairs that is kind of fighting with the dollar, it is stronger to the dollar, is the Aussie. Because pound and the euro, it's literally kind of super weak. So yeah, nevertheless, we did broke this low, which for me it becomes an engulf to the downside. So yeah, price does want to go lower. I don't know if it's going to be right now. Actually, since we actually respected these highs, I wouldn't mind to see price actually continue to go down. But a way to maybe looked for a longs today, even after we broke this low, is actually we broke this high first. So if we pay attention, if you kind of follow that, I have my sequence. My sequence is engulf, fake out. So whatever zone is broken first, it kind of gives the indication where price wants to go. After that, we're going to have the fake out. The fake out in this case, it was the kind of the break of these lows that actually originated the break of the high. And in consequence, it was also the break of this low. However, kind of already gave the indication that most likely price wants to go a little bit higher and to feel the spice either until here or actually all the way until this highs. Yep, and we did that. And that's something that you want to pay attention to in order to maybe expect as a fake out, and a fake out of a zone is actually try to see if you do break highs, if you do break kind of a structure of a highs, even before we do break these lows. As you can see, we do break this level before we actually break this one. So that kind of works like that. It's something that I like to pay attention to. You can even see that on the euro before the NFP last month. It is a kind of similar scenario where he broke highs, then he broke lows, reacting from a demand zone, and then kind of we just shoot through to the upside with the confirmation first in there. So yeah, let's see now what the house is going to do. But for me, that's literally an engulf to the downside. Price wants to go down. Yep, it can, before it go down, it can literally go all the way up and then go down. I don't know, but for now, since we didn't really broke these highs now, yeah, I would need those highs to be broken now to see price going higher. These ones. Yep, I would like to see these highs to be broken for price to go higher. Until there, maybe actually going to be looking for shorts still. That's Aussie. Nice reaction from there, to be honest. Pound. Yeah, pound was terrible this morning. Another one, like 50 touches in here, this big range. I saw this fresh zone in there. Yep, I did saw that zone in there. Yeah, pound, I was not sure if price would go up, down, wherever it wants to go. We just back out this level. I think I have a little bit of a zone a little bit below for price to go to. Second. So the low is reacting from this line in here. I kind of could see price going a little bit farther below. Okay, it's kind of reacting from this level in here, which is kind of this demand zone. Since it already touched maybe this week, it's maybe already part of it. So yeah, kind of good reaction maybe. Before that, it had reacted from that level, and now it's reacting from this level. Yeah, today's lows. So yeah, from today's lows. Ah, okay. So you're looking for longs. You're looking for longs even somewhere in here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. It does happen. I didn't. Yeah, when we, for example, this low in here, I think is not reacting from anything, while the other one actually is. Yeah, so this low, we are on the 5 minutes. We literally kind of, so the previous low on the 14th of July, it was created somewhere in here. This one broke it. We are literally not reacting from anything in particular, and now we finally reacted from here. And that's on 1 minute. I don't know if I can come all the way back here on 1 minute. Give me a... yep, we are. We do can. Yeah, so today's low is reacting from here. We have kind of this small decision point in there. Okay, it maybe makes sense. And the other one was reacting after we broke that low. We are kind of reacting from there, and the previous one is kind of somewhere from here. Yeah, so the previous one, yeah, this one in the 14th of July is from that demand zone, and this one actually kind of broke it a little bit, and now this one is reacting from the other demand. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be looking for any longs where this was reacted from. Where this one reacted from, it's kind of okay. But I was still not looking for longs either way in that moment. The left shoulder. Yeah, the left shoulder of the... Yeah, maybe. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I just broke those lows on the pound. Broke this one as well. Let's see. I don't know if this move to downside is finished or not. Maybe this today it was just a reaction now to check something and then maybe continue to downside. Let's see what's going to happen, or maybe price is just going to go and turn from here. Yeah. Personally, I think on the dollar index we're still going to break that double top. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah. What else? Yeah. Dollar franc Swiss, it took out all these highs in here, and it literally kind of reacted from the zone that was left behind. So yep, taken. This could be kind of a good trade to be taken with the natural targets. That's it. Nothing much. Nothing more. Yep, I do like the way that we are going up from here. Nice compression. Eventually, I don't know when we may break this low, or now that you created this one, in case this one actually creates a new high. Eventually, we are going to have the turn, and as we have all this compression, maybe all the way until here, or even at least a little bit further below, there's maybe this zone in here that is still fresh. Yeah, this is something that I've been trying to pay attention more and more, is when you have this all this compression being created on the approach to something that kind of just works brilliantly as a target for the future when we actually kind of turn. For example, gold is a good example. Gold is a great example actually. So we had maybe the first zone in here move up. We may have this first compression. This is one of the demand zones that is still fresh. So yeah, from this high, you could expect that. After that, all this is taken. This one has been taken. This one is a little bit fresh. That's why kind of price still reacts from there. But all this has been taken already on the way up. Yeah. Move down, and the natural zone to go to. This is taken, and we literally have this imbalance from that level until here. So anything below this low could be a natural target after we finally have this big turn. Then it's just kind of a wait and see actually where price is reacting from. Higher time frame level, nice reaction from there, compression, and then kind of when it turns, it's a really good zone to look for a target. Yep, it's really nice. This is how maybe you can start preparing your trades in terms of looking for actually big trades, like space that needs to be filled and without that many barriers on the way. just because as price is being created as going up, we actually are already taking out the orders along the way, especially then if you start breaking lows as well on the way up, which is again really interesting to see. And as you can see, we actually kind of broke this one, so eventually I wouldn't be surprised if gold actually even go farther down. But yeah, this is something that I'm trying to work on more and more, find these opportunities, and then hold the price, hold the trade all the way through. Yeah, interesting. Dollar CAD as well, so nice reaction from here. Actually, a guy that I talk with on a regular basis pinpoint this level quite nicely yesterday when you're talking about the CAD. Personally, I may still expect price to go a little bit higher before the major turn, but this level is actually quite nice. As you can see, it was a clean supply level in there that price never really had taken the order, so price pausing here. This is the beginning of the compression again. The topic of compression, price just moved completely down, and it left literally this level fresh in there. If you take a look at it in the lower time frame, we can see a clear supply zone in there. Right, and you do have all this compression all the way down, and that's it. Nice reaction from that zone. Personally, I didn't really have a trigger to get in because there was no trace to try to get in. But even before actually price goes there, it actually fake outs this high, but it had already even broken this wall as well. So the confirmation that maybe most likely price wants to go a little bit lower has been given. We have the fake outs, and then yeah, maybe the support resistance, this demand zone, and maybe go all the way until kind of this edge of the compression as well. This one I think was a higher time frame zone. Again, maybe on the daily, a zone to fill, something like that. Yep, on the higher time frame, for me this is still an engulf down, kind of as I mentioned last Saturday. So let's see. Yep, for me this one is an engulf to the downside from this low. So eventually I'm expecting actually that to actually go all the way down. But I think this one going to be used still as kind of to be faked out until price may get a little bit closer to this level. Because it's important as well, before actually a major turn, we want to start creating some highs that can be used as liquidity. I'm not sure if this is actually the last zone. Nice reaction. There was a possible trade to be taken in there, but actually I'm still looking for price to go a little bit higher, even maybe higher than these highs. So yeah, nice. Because now what this does is, maybe you can see this demand zone. So this demand zone around with this support resistance was still there, was still fresh. So now it's taken. Price now can maybe just go higher again. Maybe now we create a new demand in here. So maybe as price is going down, up, maybe it takes the orders from that demand and goes up again. And there you go. Starts eliminating these orders and leave space for the future. You'll be looking for extreme moves for short. Yeah, I talk about the CAD as well. USD CAD. Yeah, so that's going to be kind of what I'll be looking for. I'll be on holidays, but maybe I'm going to be looking every once in a while to the charts. Maybe I'll find the time to take that trade. Yeah, aside from that, what else? Yeah, don't know. This one was a nice one as well. Didn't really pay attention to it when it happens. I was looking at the dollar yen and I didn't notice this pound yen. Yeah, this fresh supply there. Yeah, didn't really catch it. Yep. What else? Ethereum and stuff, they are almost doing nothing at all. Ethereum, again, compression and so on. So the same topic as compression. Guys, let me know if you actually kind of see what I'm seeing when I talk about this compression and breaking of lows. I think maybe eventually we're going to start realizing that. We did broke these lows and we did react it from something in here. So when you break lows, we are always kind of reacting from something, right? But that something may be actually on the war time frame. There was something in there during the FOMC. There was something in there. And now the next natural level, it will be kind of this one. This level in there. What kind of price reacting from? But this open space, that price wants to go to. After that, it's a question of price. Again, maybe this is not the final target for the buyers. Maybe price actually wanted to go higher, so it's okay. Even if price doesn't do this immediately, keep this level marked. Okay, keep an eye on this level because this is important. Because eventually, when price actually turns, maybe instead of you thinking about looking for longs now in here, when actually we turn here, because maybe somewhere in here there's still a chance to look for longs in there. But when we actually turn, if by any chance you are looking for longs in here, maybe you're going to be aware that nope, actually price broke this level in here, which took out almost the demand levels. It just makes sense for price to actually go and go to the next level, which is underneath it. So maybe you're going to avoid looking for longs in the wrong spot, because actually you start finding where kind of where price is going to be kind of attached to or magnetic to go to, which is kind of the next level. And maybe this is not going to be even the first target, but it's a good zone for price to bounce from. Yep. Compression. We broke these lows even before. Price went up. Another compression. All the way through there. We broke even this low again just before we went higher. So yeah, another goof down. Compression. This one, we finally kind of have the final turn. Yeah, so and goof down in here and we turn. So you want to find these levels. This can actually give you a lot of information for maybe a possible final turn. Again, pay attention still where this high is reacting to on the left side. As you mentioned, even before kind of this price was touching there, we did mention it was that exercise that I mentioned. Find where are the last supply levels, where are the last fresh supply levels within the zones. Okay, you could do that exercise from the top all the way to the bottom. Even if it looks like that something is compressed, it may look like it's something is compressed, but maybe there's some kind of fresh supply in there that this double top never really took the orders from there. So that's maybe still be a good zone for price to have a reaction from. Now, is that reaction going to be such a big move? Well, that then depends on the approach and so on and so forth. But yeah. Yeah, that's it. Ethereum, somewhere in here. Maybe this level can be interesting for price to maybe continue to move to the downside. Is accumulating a little bit in here with all these orders. So let's see what's next. And Bitcoin, I think, is doing something super similar. Yep, Bitcoin hasn't really broken this low, and I'm kind of expecting for it to break. We are accumulating all these orders in here, so let's see. Yeah, let's see what's going to do. All right, guys. Yeah, I kind of walked through a little bit of the charts that I usually look at. Shared a few more tips with all of you. Again, thank you so much for watching, even if you're watching the replay, not even the live. Feel free to comment and to ask me any questions. If you want me to cover a specific topic, I will do it. That's kind of the main reason I'm doing this live streams on Tuesdays. So yeah, again, if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. I will be away, as I mentioned, the live streams for maybe the next 2-3 weeks because I'm going on holidays. I'm going to Greece on Thursday for 2 weeks. So the next live stream is maybe in 3 weeks time on Tuesday. So maybe 13, if maybe 13th of September. If that's a Tuesday, it's going to be on that day. And then I'm going to resume again. I'll try to find ways to create more content as well, to try to find new ways to create more content. And yeah, hopefully the channel is grow as well, and you're going to be able to have more interactions like Matt Home is doing with me. So yeah, thank you Matt Home as well for talking with me. I'm happy if you are taking advantage of it as well. If you are learning anything, it's that's why I'm doing it. So yeah, enjoy your trading, enjoy the rest of the month of trading. I will see you guys then back in September. Yeah, don't forget to follow your trading plan and to journal. Journaling is super important. Don't forget to journal at least on a weekly basis. But if you could do it every day, it will speed up your process as well. All right, thank you so much, guys. See you next time. Obrigado.